the Steubenville Catholic Central Crusaders and the Martins Ferry Purple Riders on WTOV 9 is brought to you in part by the Health Plan of the Upper Ohio Valley, Fox Run Hospital, Unibank, Ferry Hardware, St. John Medical Center, and Bonanza Family Restaurants.
As high school football teams around the valley readied themselves for the 1991 season, coaches were in agreement. The Martins Ferry Purple Riders were going to be a power, and they haven't disappointed yet. Winning their first two games big at Steubenville Central, the talk was of change. New head coach Greg Bain has taken over the Crusaders, and their tradition of winning has continued as they are a perfect 2-0. Good evening, everybody. I'm Bill Phillips from Martins Ferry Stadium, and we've got a great one for you tonight. The Purple Riders of Martins Ferry hosting Steubenville Central Crusaders. Both teams perfect as they come into this one. After a quick timeout, we'll be back with our starting lineups and our kickoff right after this. And welcome to Martins Ferry Stadium. We've got a great one for you in week number 3 of WTOV TV9's Game of the Week. The Steubenville Catholic Central Crusaders, a perfect 2-0, pay a visit to Martins Ferry and the Purple Riders. They are a perfect 2-0 as well, and they are known as a power around the valley this year. Everyone picked them to be a strong team this year, and they have not disappointed with 2 huge wins in their first 2 weeks of the season. Tonight, their toughest test as they meet an old rival here at Martins Ferry Stadium, and the rain is joining us as well. The start of tonight's game was delayed a half hour due to heavy rains and lightning that rolled through the valley earlier, and the rain has come back once again. Fortunately for people in the stands and for the players down on the field, the lightning has not returned. It's just a heavy rain right now. Hopefully that will pass through as well. But we are just about ready for our opening kickoff between the Steubenville Catholic Central Crusaders and the Martins Ferry Purple Riders. Right now, we're going to send it down to Liz Ubib, who's trying to stay wet, or stay dry down on the sideline, I should say.
I think, though, what I'm going to end up doing is staying quite wet, though, Bill, down here. It's really pouring down. I'm lucky because I'm over the small little overhang. And behind me are all the Martins Ferry fans who are also lucky because they're staying dry. And throughout the game, I'll be talking to the fans, the parents, the coaches, the band directors from Martins Ferry and from Catholic Central. So we'll be joining you all game long, Bill.
Well, Liz, I'll tell you what, the people at Martins Ferry, they have a beautiful stadium, but when they built it, they made sure that they would stay dry from the elements, but the visiting team was left out in the cold, so to speak, tonight. The Catholic Central fans left out in the rain, at least for the time being. Coaches and officials, Dave Bruni, the head coach for Martins Ferry, meeting with the officials, and Greg Bain, the head coach of the Crusaders. Greg Bain in his first year as a head coach of the Crusaders, and he is a perfect 2-0. Dave Bruni in his 12th season with Martins Ferry. Captains meeting at midfield for the toss of our coin. And Martins Ferry has elected to receive. They have won the toss. And Steubenville Catholic Central will kick off, and we are just about ready for week number 3 of our Game of the Week. The rain is really coming down here, but it has not dampened the spirits of the fans or the players on the sidelines. They've been waiting for this one. As soon as Catholic Central won their second game of the season last Saturday evening, the talk really started to heat up between fans from both towns and supporters of the two teams. Back deep for Martins Ferry, Tyrone Stewart. He is joined by Chuck Bell and Mark Joseph as they await the kickoff from Steubenville Central. Kicking the ball off will be Mike Kuzakowski, sophomore. Stewart at his 10-yard line, awaiting the kick from Kuzikowski. End-over-end kick taken by Stewart at the 15-yard line, out across the 20-25. He's got a gap over the 30-yard line and down at the 37-yard line. A fine return. And Martins Ferry with good field position to start off offensively. And let's check the Martins Ferry offense. We'll start up front with the linemen. We're going to start with the backs, and it will be quarterback Josh Lucas, wearing number 7, a junior. Leading the way for Martins Ferry, Eric Delguzzo is your fullback. Tyrone Stewart, your tailback. He wears number 36. Rich Spielvogel, number 5, is your split end, your flanker. Mark Joseph, and he is number 9, and Chuck Bell is your slot back when in the game. I formation for Ferry as they split Joseph out wide to the left, and bottled up is Stewart. He is lucky to get back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Offensive lineman for Martins Ferry, the center, Dave McGuire, 215-pound senior, number 52. Steve Vickers, number 54. He is your left guard. Your right guard, Darren Tilton, number 67. He weighs in at 222 pounds. John McFarland, number 78. Chad Bolin, number 71. And your tight end is Brian Peterson, who goes 230 pounds, a senior. We have a penalty on the second play from scrimmage for Martins Ferry. It looked like the Crusaders may have jumped off sides. Illegal motion penalty against the Crusaders, a 5-yard dead ball penalty. Taking a look at the Crusader defense, Steve Marshall, a defensive end, along with Scott Bloomer. Bob Mascalino, number 52, defensive tackle, along with Dave Stanwyck. Linebackers, Paul Wilson, number 44, an outside linebacker with Ken Richardson. The other outside linebacker wears number 40, Rich Gaultier, number 66. And there are your defensive backs for the Crusaders, and they have jumped again. And Martins Ferry picks up a 1st down on back-to-back offsides penalties as Josh Lucas pulls off the Crusaders with a snap count. It'll be 2nd down, just short of a 1st down, so Stewart did lose just a little bit on the first play of the game from scrimmage. Rich Spielvogel shuttling into place. He splits wide left. I formation for Ferry in the backfield. Lucas under center, 2nd down and just about a half a yard. Quick pitch goes to Stewart. He breaks over the 30-yard line. He has a 1st down and about 4 more. Pickup of about 5 on the play, and it'll be 1st down, Martins Ferry in Crusader territory. Just a quick pitch to Stewart, gets a fine block up front by McFarland, and Steve Vickers on the left side of the line, leading up into hole. Eric Delguzzo is fullback. A fine play by Martins Ferry as they pick up about 5 and a 1st down at the Crusader 48-yard line. Mark Joseph split right side, split backs in the backfield this time. Little trap play to Stewart. He's going to pick up about 3 on the play, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 7. Two teams that like to keep the ball on the ground. Talking to head coach Dave Bruni of Martins Ferry before the ball game, and he says his halfbacks can throw, so you never know when they're going to pull out a halfback option pass. Just a nice little trap play. Stewart looks for the hole, finds it, and picks up about 5 yards on the play. Good blocking up front on the right side. Chad Bolin and Brian Peterson, the tight end, along with Darren Tilton, the right guard, pushing the Crusaders back. Slot formation right side. Split backs in the backfield. Handoff to the fullback, Delguzzo. He powers ahead for about 3 yards on the play. Call it 2nd down and a long 4. Getting a piece of the tackle, Colin Kelly, senior inside linebacker who goes 170 pounds. Brian Krager checks into the ball game, number 51 for the Crusaders defensively. Slot formation right side. split backs in the backfield again. Option play. Stewart, he's got a lot of room down the sideline, and he will keep his feet down inside the 15, cuts back against the grain, 5-yard line, and he is stopped just short of the end zone. A big run on the halfback option play. Lucas and Stewart work it to perfection. He keeps his feet down the sideline and goes down inside the 1-yard line. Martins Ferry with a big first drive. Stewart just tripped up, and then he keeps his feet, good balance. He will cut back against the grain and go all the way down to the 1-yard line, tripping up Joe Polshaw, number 10, a junior, 180-pounder for Steubenville Central, but Stewart with a big run. Full house backfield, handoff, touchdown, Purple Riders. Chuck Bell from 1 yard goes in, and it's the Purple Riders on top early, 6-0. Full backfield, Lucas with a handoff to Chuck Bell, number 45. Chuck Bell with a touchdown as he gets into the end zone. Purple Riders on top, take the kickoff and march it all the way down the field. 67-yard touchdown drive. Capped off by a 1-yard run by Chuck Bell. In to try the extra point for the Purple Riders, John McFarland, big defensive and offensive tackle, goes 262 pounds. He's a senior, and he also does the place kicking for the Purple Riders. So Chuck Bell caps off a 67-yard touchdown drive with a 1-yard plunge, and it is a 1-touchdown lead right now for the Purple Riders, 6-0 here in the first quarter. Lucas to hold. McFarland's kick is up, and it splits the uprights, and it's a 7-0 Purple Rider lead. So with 8:17 to go in the first quarter, it's the Purple Riders on top, 7-0 over the Crusaders. We'll be right back after this.
I'm here with Bob Bruni, who is a former Martins Ferry football coach, now the athletic director, and you told me you got chills when you saw that touchdown. How was it?
Sure you do. It's in all us old coaches. The adrenaline flows in that, but I get goosebumps all the time.
You get goosebumps. How's the season going so far?
You give me goosebumps.
How's the season going so far for your team?
Well, fine. I mean, we've got a good group of boys, and Coach Bruni's staff have worked hard with them, and they just don't work from August till the end of November. They put a lot of time in, and Greg does a great job up at Steubenville, and I think the Steubenville parochial system should be excited about having a loyal person like that in charge of their program, because I'm familiar with him. He was a loyal assistant in football and basketball to Clyde D'Angelo, and I think he's a terrific young man. And both those guys used their heads tonight. I mean, they got the kids off the field when the Lightning was there, and now the officials will take charge. I hope it's a good ball game. We've had a great series with Steubenville Central over the years, both in football and basketball.
That's for sure. And we're going to get back out there for some more action. Thanks, Mr. Bruni.
Okay.
And welcome back upstairs. And Fred Manilak with a fine kickoff return as Martins Ferry kicking off after they took a 7-0 lead on a 1-yard touchdown run. Catholic Central offense. Quarterback Travis Marcino, number 7. Ken Richardson is your fullback, number 40. Fred Manilak, your tailback, number 25. Split end Mike Mavromitis, and Mike Gibson is your flanker, number 23. And they go upstairs right away, looking downfield. Marcino, and he's got a man open at the 20-yard line, down to the 10-yard line. The Crusaders strike big on the first play from scrimmage. Mike Gibson hauling it in. Marcino rolls to his left, sets up, and fires a strike down the middle of the field. Mike Gibson beating Spielvogel on the coverage, and he is down to the 10-yard line, and it looks like we might have an offensive shootout tonight in Martins Ferry. Offensive line, Brian Krager, number 51. Galtrey, 66. Mascalino, the guard, Sweeney and Stanwyck. Handoff, and the ball is loose. We got a fumble on the field, and it's recovered to Martins Ferry. So as quickly as the Crusaders got downfield, the Martins Ferry defense comes up big with a fumble recovery. Handoff inside to the fullback. The ball squirts loose. Looked like a bad exchange. Rich Spielvogel comes up with the fumble recovery, and he makes up for being burned by Mike Gibson on the long pass. And it's Martins Ferry on top, 7-0, and they have the ball once again. Spielvogel split left side. I formation in the backfield for Martins Ferry. Handoff goes to Stewart. Looks for a running room. He'll pick up about 3 on the play before he's greeted by a host of Crusader tacklers. Stewart, the featured tailback in the Martins Ferry backfield. Adam Shapaka checking into the ball game. Dave Bruni on top, 7-0 early. Martins Ferry head coach, 12th year with the Purple Riders. Split both sides, single back in the backfield. Handoff goes to Stewart, and crushing Stewart in the backfield, coming across quickly from his defensive tackle position, Dave Stanwyck, number 79. The senior, 6'4", 225-pounder, got in quickly. Stanwyck just busts through the line, and Stewart had nowhere to go. Stanwyck beating Dave McGuire, the center from Martins Ferry, on the play. Spielvogel checks back into the ball game with the offensive play. Third down, and we'll call it a long 7 for Martins Ferry. Double splits left and right, I formation in the backfield. Lucas under center. Play action pass, looking downfield, and he is going to be sacked. Stanwyck coming in once again. Lucas fakes on the play action pass. Coming in early was Stanwyck, and along with Stanwyck getting a piece of the tackle, Ryan Trilge. Punting for the Martins Ferry, and almost blocked, gets it away. Martins Ferry getting the punt away. Fair catch called for at the 37-yard line of Martins Ferry. Taking the fair catch for the Crusaders, Joe Polshaw. So it'll be Crusader football 1st and 10 from the Martins Ferry 37-yard line. Ferry Hardware scoreboard as Martins Ferry on top, 7-0 over the Catholic Central Crusaders. First quarter action, 4:54 remaining in the first quarter. I formation in the backfield. Gibson comes in motion. Hand off to the fullback. Ken Richardson dragging a couple of Martins Ferry Purple Riders for a pickup of about 6 yards. Simple inside handoff to Ken Richardson. He drags Chad Bolin for a few yards. I formation in the backfield once again for the Crusaders. Split both right and left. Handoff to the tailback. Manilak cuts to his left, and he almost busted down to the 15-yard line. First down for the Crusaders. Manilak got a hole, and with good speed, made a nice cut, and he was down to the 15-yard line. Simple dive play. Manilak gets a nice block up front. Sealing off is Bob Mascolino. Sealed off the defensive end, giving Manilak a hole. And once he was through there, he had a big gain down to the 16-yard line, where it's 1st and 10 for the Crusaders. I formation in the backfield again. Gibson split right side. Mavromitis split left side. Gibson comes in motion. Inside handoff to Richardson. He's got some running room down to the 5-yard line. 3 before he's taken down. Crusaders in business again, down to the 3-yard line, another first down. And it's just simple, straight ahead football. Just an inside handoff again. Gets a nice seal block, and he's off to the races. Richardson showing some good speed once he got into the Purple Riders secondary, down to the 3-yard line, and it's 1st and goal for the Crusaders. 3:37 remaining in the first quarter. Martins Ferry on top, 7-0 handoff inside, touchdown, Crusaders. Anthony Yanni going in from 3 yards out. Wishbone formation in the backfield. Anthony Yanni plunges in from 3 yards out, and it is the Crusaders on the board. They trail it by 1 as they get ready to attempt the extra point. In to attempt the extra point, Mike Kuzakowski. Snap is good, it's down, it's up, and it is good. And we have a tie ball game with 3:32 remaining in the first quarter at Martins Ferry Stadium. It is 7 apiece. Delayed thing. Welcome back to Martins Ferry Stadium. And we've got a great one. The rain delayed things for about a half hour, and it looks like it's starting to rain once again here at Martins Ferry Stadium. But once the kickoff started the ball game, we have had nothing but action. 7-7 with 3:32 to go in the first quarter. The Purple Riders struck first. Chuck Bell capped a 67-yard touchdown drive from a yard out, plunging in, and Anthony Yanni has just tied it up for the Crusaders with a 3-yard touchdown run, and it is 7-7 here in the first quarter. Back deep, Stewart Kuzakowski to kick off for the Crusaders. End over end kickoff coming down at the 15-yard line, taken by Stewart over the 20, 25, 30. He's got a little seam out to the 37-yard line. That's where the Purple Riders will take over. 1st and 10. Purple Riders like to keep it on the ground, and it is hard to get a read on exactly what the rain has done to this field. As you know, drought here in the Ohio Valley, and the rain has probably helped the field. Might be a little bit slick on the grass, but I'm sure most of the water has been absorbed, so we're not going to have too many puddles around the field to contend with as the Purple Riders have a 1st and 10 from their own 37-yard line. Lucas rolls back. He's got a man open. It's Peterson, the tight end, down to the 30, 25-yard line, stiff arm all the way down to the 15-yard line, and it's the Purple Riders striking on the ground and the air early. Lucas rolling out and finding Peterson, his big tight end. Just a little bootleg. Lucas rolls to his right. The junior quarterback looks downfield, and he's got his big tight end, a big target, Peterson, 230-pounder, and he's off to the races. And a big stiff arm at the 22-yard line, and carries himself all the way down to the 15, and it's the Purple Riders looking to punch another one in. Right now, a tie ball game with 2:50 to go in the first quarter. 7-7 between the Purple Riders and the Crusaders. Split backs. Quick pitch goes to Stewart, breaks to the outside. He's still on his feet. Struggles down to the 9-yard line. Pickup of about 6 on 1st down. We'll call it 2nd down and a long 4. In on the tackle, Tolensic, Aaron Tolensic, a junior, 5'10", 160-pounder, getting a piece of Stewart, who has rushed for big yards already in the first quarter. Power I formation, right side, double tight end for the Purple Riders. Hand off to Stewart. Picks up about 2 on the play. 3rd down and about 2.5. Ball inside the Crusader 10-yard line. Power I formation, just straight ahead running by Stewart. Simple little handoff. Powerful runner, has good speed once he bounces outside, but he's strong enough to run big inside. And he's got some big men up front blocking. Boland, Peterson, Tilton on the right side. Left side, McFarland, Steve Vickers, and Dave McGuire, the center, opening holes. And Stewart again, straight up the middle. He'll be close to a 1st down, and it looks like he has it. Had to get to the 5, and it looks like they'll mark the ball inside the 5-yard line. Inside handoff. Stewart again coming in quickly to get a piece of the action. Colin Kelly Number 54, the linebacker, moving up and trying to fill the hole. But Stewart strong enough to push it inside the 5-yard line to pick up the first down. Tie ball game, 1:09 remaining. WTOV TV 9's third game of the week. Handoff, Chuck Bell again, spinning down to the 1-yard line. Bell already has 1 touchdown. It looks like he is their specialist on short yardage situations for the Purple Riders. Came in, carried it from inside the 1 on the Purple Riders' first drive of the ball game, and he is in again. John Caparito checking in. Double tight end formation. Peterson left side, Caparito right side. Full house backfield, and we have a motion penalty that should go against the Purple Riders. Head coach Dave Bruni signaling from the sideline that it was the Crusaders that went offside, and Crusader coaches on the far side signaling that it was the Purple Riders who drew them off. Illegal motion penalty against the Crusaders, so the Purple Riders catch a break. Greg Bain, head coach for the Crusaders, upset with the call, but the Purple Riders catch a break inside the 5-yard line. Second down, and the ball will be spotted inside the 1. Seven ball game, 18 seconds to go, first quarter. Full house backfield, handoff to Stewart, and he is stopped at the goal line, but he pushes in with second effort, and it is a touchdown, Purple Riders. Let's take a look at it again. Full backfield, handoff goes to Stewart, coming up and filling the hole quickly for the Crusaders. Galtrey came up, but Stewart was able to lean in and push the ball across the goal line. John McFarland in to attempt the extra point. It's a fake pass in the back of the end zone, and it is dropped. The Purple Riders missed their extra point. McFarland with the pass. Doug Giffen dropping the ball in the corner of the end zone. A tough pass to catch. He had to go up high. It slipped through his hands. And with 12 seconds remaining in the first quarter, it is the Martins Ferry Purple Riders 13 and the Crusaders of Steubenville Catholic Central 7. Now, a number of candidates, but our crack staff will narrow it down to just 1 each. Right now, the offensive lines for both schools really could be the MVPs. The offensive lines have opened up the big holes. The running backs always get the credit along with the quarterbacks, but the men in the trenches doing the job here tonight in Martins Ferry as the Purple Riders take on the Crusaders, and both offensive lines have really done the job as Brian Peterson gets ready to kick off. 13-7 our score, first quarter action. The Purple Riders on top of the Crusaders. Both teams perfect 2-0 records as they come into the ball game. Manilak, it bounces by him. It bounces down to the 3-yard line. He picks it up at the 3, regains his balance, tries to bake to the outside. He'll be taken down at the 10-yard line by a host of Purple Riders. Doug Harrison getting in on the tackle for the Purple Riders, and the Crusaders will take over at their own 10. 5 seconds left in the quarter. Should be the last play of the first quarter. The clock has started, and that will be, they won't even get the play off. So at the end of 1 quarter of play at Martins Ferry Stadium, it is the Purple Riders of Martins Ferry 13, the Crusaders of Steubenville Catholic Central 7.
Jay Paulman.
First and second quarters, I'm here with the athletic director from Catholic Central, John Serafini. Mr. Serafini, yes, we always get those names screwed. I don't know what it is with us. How's your season going this year?
Excellent. Greggy Bain, our coach, is doing a really great job, and our kids are working very hard. We're very happy.
It's a pretty exciting game here so far. It's going back and forth. What do you think?
Just want to hang in there and hope to be ahead at the end.
How about the rest of the season? What do you see for your team?
I think most of our opponents are pretty tough. This is one of the better ones. And, of course, you know, Cleveland Central next week is going to be very good. Big Red, Blair, you know, it's just going to be tough the rest of the way.
Yeah, it is going to be a tough season. Hey, try to stay dry on the wet side of the field over there. Now back up to Bill.
Thanks, Liz. And we talked with head coach Greg Bain earlier this week, and he told me this is the best team that they have played so far, and one of the best teams they'll play all season. The Crusaders have their hands full with the Purple Riders. Purple Riders have their hands full with the Crusaders. 13-7 our score. Just starting the second quarter, WTOV 9's Game of the Week, and Fred Manilak is making the Game of the Week a spectacular one. His second big run of the evening out across the 30-yard line. Coming up, Michael Roby, sophomore 175-pounder, making a lunging tackle on the sideline to stop Manilak. Just busted through the offensive line, cut to the sideline, and then it was Roby tracking him down, but Manilak with a big run, giving the Crusaders some good field position after they were pinned in deep at the 10-yard line following the Purple Rider kickoff after the last touchdown. Slot formation left side for the Crusaders. Split backs in the backfield. Handoff goes to Richardson straight ahead, and he is bottled up by a host of Purple Riders. Leading the way defensively, John McFarland inside along with Chad Bolin and Brian Peterson. Two teams that feature the ground attack. Richardson that time bottled up. Kurt Sechrist, the first Purple Rider to get a piece of him, the inside linebacker, senior 178-pounder, wears number 26, came up and filled the hole quickly. Second down at about 9, split back to the backfield. Richardson again coming in quickly again to get a piece of the tackle, a solo tackle. Kurt Sechrist once again for the Purple Riders. Play took a little bit too long developing. Sechrist busting into the backfield, untouched, and he comes up with a second straight tackle. Richardson leans ahead for maybe a yard and a half. We'll call it 3rd down and 8. Slot formation, Gibson your slot man. Marcino back to pass, rolling to his right, looks downfield, has a man open. It's Gibson, but it's thrown out of bounds, and it falls incomplete, bringing up 4th down and 8. And the punting unit of Catholic Central comes onto the field. 10:38 to go, first half of the ball game. Martins Ferry on top of this one, 13-7. I'm Bill Phillips along with Liz Haviv and the rest of the WTOV sports crew, bringing you our 3rd high school football game of the week. Tyrone Stewart has 1 touchdown already, had a big first quarter, getting ready to come back into the ball game. Spielvogel and Joseph back deep for the Purple Riders, and Spielvogel taking the ball at the 40-yard line. Nice in and out move, still on his feet, and he is down at the 47-yard line. So it'll be Purple Riders ball 1st and 10 from their own 47-yard line. Liz Habib down on the sideline wearing her duck boots tonight. A lot of rain rolling through the valley. Had her raincoat on and her duck boots. She's down there with her sideline reports. She'll be talking to just about everybody in the crowd, I think, tonight, as she does each and every week. Split backfield, handoff inside. Del Guzzo picks up about 6 on the play. Nice inside running by the fullback. Senior 200-pounder. Made our plays of the week, but made our plays of the week last week, our high school football plays of the week every Monday. You can catch them on News 9 at 6. And Del Guzzo had a big run in last week's game against Beaver local. He ran out of gas just inside the goal line, but a nice run, and he had some nice running done right there inside the tackles. And the Purple Rider offensive line continues to give their backfield big holes to run through. Brian Peterson split left side. Tailback is Stewart. Peterson comes in motion. 2nd down and 5 for the Purple Riders. Hand off to Stewart. Spinning, still on his feet. And he is bottled up inside the 45-yard line of Catholic Central. And it'll be 3rd down and call it 1. Maybe close to a 1st down. They might want to measure it. Stewart with outstanding leg drive. Just another simple inside handoff. Peterson comes over out of motion, tries to seal off. Stewart breaks one tackle, continues to spin ahead, and he just keeps those feet moving. And I remember how many times we had that drill when I was in high school. You just have to keep the feet moving, keep the feet moving, keep the feet moving. And Stewart is doing that here in the first half of tonight's ball game. Measurement for the first down. Stewart got enough. It'll be a 1st and 10 for the Purple Riders at the 43-yard line of Catholic Central. Just inside 9 minutes to go in the first half. Dave Bruni on the sideline. I formation of the backfield. Joseph split left side. A delay handoff to Stewart straight ahead, coming up from his defensive tackle position, Bob Mascalino. 250-pound senior, 5'11", and he is the big man that anchors the defensive and offensive line for the Crusaders. Crusader coaches on the far side trying to come up with a way to stop Stewart and the rest of the backfield for the Purple Riders. Right now our score, 13-7. Second quarter action. Bill Phillips and Liz Abebe bring you our third high school football game of the week right here on WTOV TV 9. Slot formation left side. Lucas rolls out to his right, getting pressured, and he is going to be taken down for a big loss. The Crusaders coming up defensively and bottling up and Lucas, and they drop him for a loss on the play. Ken Richardson coming in from his linebacker position along with Paul Wilson, the outside linebacker. He really messes up Lucas, keeps him from getting outside, and then he gets some help from his teammates coming up to get a piece of the tackle as well. Scott Bloomer. Bloomer coming in from his defensive end position, and a big loss on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 15. And the Purple Riders will take a timeout here in the second quarter, and we'll take a timeout with 7:16 to go in the second quarter. Our score, 13-7 on the Ferry Hardware scoreboard. Martins Ferry on top, 13-7 in the second quarter. Welcome back to Martins Ferry Stadium in Martins Ferry, Ohio, our third WTOV TV 9 game of the week, featuring the Purple Riders of Martins Ferry, a perfect 2-0. Coming into tonight's ball game, taking on Catholic Central of Steubenville. They are a perfect 2-0 as well. And right now it's the Purple Riders on top, 13-7 with 7:16 to go in the first half. It's a 3rd and 15 for the Purple Riders. They were charged the timeout. Their head coach Dave Bruni in the offensive huddle, giving their last-second instructions. Greg Bain leaving the Crusader huddle as he heads back to the sideline for the Crusaders. Outstanding ball game. First quarter filled with highlights. Big runs, touchdowns, passes, everything you could want in the first quarter of football. I formation for the Purple Riders, 3rd and 15. Lucas back to pass, looking, waiting. Has Stewart come open. Tips the ball up in the air and it falls incomplete. They'll bring up 4th down. And we're going to go down to Liz Abebe. 4th down. Our specialist coming in, Liz Abebe.
Well, while we took that timeout, I took a timeout with some of the fans, and I'm here with one of them. This is Casey Bazan. Casey, who from your family is part of the Martins Ferry team here? You have a sister?
Yeah.
What does she do?
Play in the band.
She plays in the band. Who are you here to watch the game with? Your mom. Are you having fun? Okay, back up to Bill.
Punt is away from the Purple Riders. It falls at the 20-yard line and down inside the 15. Bounced away from Anthony Yawney, but he was able to fall on top of the ball, and it'll be the Crusaders taking over inside their own 15-yard line. Big hop off the wet surface. Yawney can't control it. He wisely just falls on it, doesn't try to pick it up and advance it. As a host of Purple Riders gather around Yawney to down the ball carrier. Gibson split left side. Holshaw split right side. Handoff goes to Manilak, and he is taken down in the backfield. Coming in quickly from his defensive tackle position, John McFarland. bring up second down and 12. Handoff comes to Manilak, and he was just bottled up from the word go on that one as McFarland comes in quickly and makes the big defensive stop for Martins Ferry. A loss of 2 on the play, second down and 12. Travis Marcino, your quarterback, second and 12 under center. I formation in the backfield. Handoff inside Richardson, and he is stopped immediately. Big hit applied inside by the Purple Riders. Handoff goes to Richardson. Sliding down from his nose tackle position was Brian Peterson, the 230-pounder. Pickup of about a yard on the play. 3rd and 11. Marcino, a fine double option quarterback, can throw the ball and run the ball. Very, very dangerous. We have an official timeout down on the field, and it will be charged to the Purple Riders. So the Purple Riders take a timeout with 5:42 to go in the second quarter. Our score 13-7, and we're going to take a timeout as the Purple Riders have on the field. On the Ferry Hardware scoreboard, it's Martins Ferry on top, 13-7 over Catholic Central.
Discover Catholic Schools. Points are hard to score in the game of education, but parents who want their children to win choose Catholic schools. Our students get higher scores in national math, science, and reading tests. A national study also shows they have more positive values and deeper religious beliefs. Discover Catholic Schools.
I'm Bill Phillips along with Liz Habib. The Purple Riders on top of the Crusaders of Catholic Central, 13-7 in the second quarter, 5:42 to go in the first half, and it has been a game full of excitement. A lot of long runs, long pass plays. Right now, 3rd down and 11 for the Crusaders of Catholic Central. Double split formation, Gibson split right side. And Marcino goes to his right and dropping the ball on the far sideline. Mavromitis drops it. He would have had enough yardage for the first down, but he dropped the ball, and it falls incomplete. Marcino with a fine pass. Hit Mavromitis in the hands. He just couldn't hold on to it. Marcino doing a good job looking off a number of receivers. Then he goes back against the grain. And if Mavromitis had it, he would have had the first down, but it falls incomplete, and it'll bring up a 4th and 11. And the Crusaders will have to punt it away. Joe Polshaw in for the punt, and it went off the side of his foot. Bounces at the 30-yard line, and is down inside the 30 at the 28-yard line. So the Purple Riders, great field position after a very short punt by the Crusaders. Polshaw just has it go off the side of his foot. End over end kick. Bounce at the 25-yard line, roll up and hit a Crusader in the back, and the ball is down. Martins Ferry. I formation of the backfield, split left side is Joseph. Quick pitch goes to Stewart, near sideline. Pickup of about 5 on the play. Check that, pickup of about 3 on the play. 2nd down and 7 for the Purple Riders. Stewart, a very patient running back. Waits and picks his hole. Just kind of waits, drifts in and out of the hole, and then when he finds it, tries to explode through that hole. Pickup of about, we're going to give him an official pickup of 4 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Inside handoff goes to Del Guzzo on 2nd down. He spins all the way down inside the 20-yard line. He'll be close to a first down for the Purple Riders. May have a measurement. Just a simple inside handoff. Nice hole by the offensive line coming up and getting a piece of the tackle. Ken Richardson. Polshaw also coming in and getting a piece of the tackle. And they will have to measure. See if Del Guzzo came up with the first down. .424 to go in the first half. Purple Riders on top, 13-7, and it is just short, about a half a foot. Bring up third down and a half a foot for the Purple Riders as they look for another first down, as they look to try to punch another one in before halftime. Great crowd on hand. The rain did not keep people away from this one. An outstanding crowd here to check the Purple Riders and the Crusaders out on a Friday night. Josh Lucas, your quarterback, double tight end formation, wishbone formation in the backfield. Handoff goes to Chuck Bell. He has the first down and a couple of more. Chuck Bell, the short yardage specialist so far tonight for the Purple Riders. A couple of nice lead blocks as Stewart and Delguzzo lead into the hole, and then Bell just powers his way for about 3 yards to pick up the first down. It'll be 1st and 10 from the Crusader 16.5-yard line. I formation of the backfield. Spavogo split right side. Inside handoff goes to the fullback, Delguzzo. And he is inside the 15-yard line. Pickup of about 2 on the play. 2nd down and 8. Checking into the ball game, Chuck Bell. Checking out, Spavogo. Double tight end formation, wishbone formation in the backfield for the Purple Riders. Option play, keeping it. Lucas, he's got room to run inside the 10, 5-yard line, goes to the corner. Touchdown, Purple Riders. A well-designed play by the Purple Riders. They line up in the wishbone formation, fake the inside handoff to Stewart. He's been so potent tonight that they had to respect the fake. Lucas looking for the pass. No one there. He tucked it away, and he just raced for the corner of the end zone, and he beat 2 Crusaders to the corner. Dives in for the touchdown, and it is the Purple Riders on top right now, 19-7. We have a timeout. The Purple Riders calling a timeout. So we want to make sure they have the proper men on the field, enough players on the field, and debating probably right now as to whether or not they should go for a 2-point conversion. After the last touchdown, extra point attempt was no good. Now with the score 19-7, deciding whether or not to go for 2. It looks like they will go for 2 as Lucas, the quarterback, is still on the field. He is the holder for extra points, but more receivers checking into the ball game, so it looks like the Purple Riders will go for 2 on the extra point. Head coach Dave Bruni in on the huddle. Purple Riders getting off to a great start this season at 2-0. They have crushed the first 2 opponents. Last year, a 3-7 year for Martins Ferry. So they're trying to bounce back, and some say this is the best team they've had in quite a while. One of those people that says that is head coach Greg Bain of the Crusaders. Bain told me it's the best team that he has seen the Purple Riders have in the last 12 years. People in Martins Ferry talking about a state playoff berth. So are the Crusaders of Catholic Central. 2-point conversion, slot formation, trips right. Quick pitch to Stewart, and he will be stopped short of the extra point. A fine tackle in the open field by Anthony Yawney. He got some help on the play, but Anthony Yawney making a big defensive stop for the Crusaders, and it keeps the score at 19-7. Quick pitch goes to Stewart, a little mixed direction. Yawney doesn't buy the fake, lays out, comes up with the tackle. Also getting a piece of the tackle for the Crusaders is Scott Bloomer, and we are going to take a timeout. The Ferry Hardware scoreboard reads Martins Ferry 19, Catholic Central 7. Welcome back to Martins Ferry Stadium. Bill Phillips along with Liz Habib bringing you WTOV 9's high school football game of the week. And right now we have a good one. Second quarter action, 3:09 to go in the first half. 19-7, the Purple Riders of Martins Ferry on top of the Catholic Central Crusaders. Brian Peterson with a kickoff, little squib kick, bounces down 10 yards and making the recovery for the Crusaders. We'll have to wait and check the number. Bob Mascalino coming up with a recovery on the onside kick. Peterson coming up and just squibs it. I don't know if he had his step count off or it was a design play, but Bob Mascalino, the defensive tackle, coming up with a big one, 250-pounders. Not supposed to have great hands, but nice and soft on that one as he comes up with the recovery. 1st and 10 for the Crusaders at their own 46-yard line. Coming in motion, Gibson. Handoff to Manilak in the backfield, and coming in quickly from his defensive tackle position, making the play, John McFarland. Let's go down to Elizabeth on the sideline.
Thanks, Bill. I'm here on the sidelines with the Purple Rider cheerleaders. Are you guys having a good time tonight? Yeah! If I can't hear you anymore tonight, you'll know why. They have a cheer put together for us, so why don't you do it real quick? Go ahead, let's do it fast for the next play. 7 TFB, love. Get right. 7 TFB, love. Get right. 7 TFB, love. Get right. Thank you so much. Best cheer I've ever heard. Back up to Bill.
Elizabeth getting the inside scoop on the sideline, and a fantastic cheer. That's the only way you can put that one by the Purple Rider cheerleaders. And WTOV proud to be here at Martins Ferry Stadium. The same field. I asked everyone when I got here if Lou Groza, Lou the Toe, had played on this field, and indeed he had. In the early 1940s, Lou Groza played on this same field. Right now it's Ken Richardson for the Crusaders with a nice run out over the 50-yard line down to the 45 inside Purple Rider territory and forced out of bounds by Spielvogel and John McFarland. Defensive tackle getting back quickly and helping out on the tackle. One of the true legends of the Ohio Valley, Lou Groza, grew up right here in Martins Ferry. Of course, a Hall of Famer in the NFL with the Cleveland Browns. First and 10 for the Crusaders with 2:11 to go in the first half. They trail at 19-7. Crusaders and Martins Ferry both trying to remain unbeaten tonight. Both teams coming in 2-0. Split backs in the backfield. Marcino back to pass, looking downfield. He's got a man wide open, and it goes through his hands. Split wide to the left side that time. Joe Polshaw. He couldn't hang on to it. Passed a little bit upstairs, had to climb the ladder, and couldn't climb high enough to pull it down. Ball just going over the tips of his fingers. Travis Marcino, senior, 165-pounder, 6 foot tall at quarterback. He's got a nice arm. Option play. Spins down inside the 40-yard line, but we've got laundry all over the field. They have an offensive motion penalty against the Crusaders, and then it'll send them back 5 yards. So you stay with us at halftime as we will have another battle of sorts, the Battle of the Bands. Crusaders and Purple Riders will be featured at halftime. Right now, Crusaders down 19-7 with 1:56 to go in the first half. Have a 2nd down and 15 on the Purple Rider 47-yard line. I formation to the backfield. Slot formation is broken by Gibson when he comes in motion right side. Marcino under center. Play action pass, looking downfield, goes down the middle of the field, and he has Polshaw, but it comes in and out of his hands once again. Polshaw can't hang on to it. If you asked him on the sideline right now or after the game, I'm sure he'd tell you that he should have held on. Polshaw can't come up with it, and it'll bring up 3rd and 15 for the Crusaders. Marcino right on the money with that one across the middle. Marcino sets up, nice set, has his man all the way, gets the pass off, and hits Polshaw in the hands, and it falls incomplete. If he holds on to it, he's got a lot of room to run. Marcino back to pass once again, looks out to the left side. He's got a man Nice little fake, but he will be tackled short of the first down marker. Coming up with the catch for the Crusaders, Mike Cooney. Mike Coon, number 83, Mike Coon with the reception for the Crusaders. They'll bring up 4th down and call it 4. Mike Coon on the catch. Timeout on the field. Offensive coordinator for the Crusaders coming out on the field, talking with his offense. Defensive coordinator for Martins Ferry going out and talking to his Purple Riders. Well played game. Early penalties, the Crusaders were drawn off a couple of times by the Purple Riders snap count, but other than that, it has been a very clean game. A very exciting one. 19-7 our score, 1:25 to go. Want to remind everybody that we will have all the scores and highlights from tomorrow's action. John Ziegler and our weekend staff will get all of the action for you, and we will have college football as well. WTOV will have its cameras out all afternoon. We'll be in Morgantown for West Virginia and South Carolina, and Columbus for the Buckeyes in Louisville. We have full reports for you at 6, and we've got a pitch. Ken Richardson with a first down the sideline inside the 20-yard line. A big run, and the Crusaders in business with 1:18 to go in the first half. Quick little option play to the left side, near sideline. Marcino inside fake to Manilak, and then it's the quick pitch outside to Richardson. He's down the sideline. Coming in and making a touchdown saving tackle is Roby for the Purple Riders. Gibson comes in motion, left side, trips left. Single back of the backfield option to Richardson. He's got some room to run, coming up and getting a piece of Richardson, slowing him down. Enough for his fellow tacklers to come up and make the play. Kurt Sechrist, the first one there, the inside linebacker, coming up with the tackle. 1:07 to go in the first half. They load it up to the left side, and then they run the option to the right side. Richardson with a little head fake with Sechrist there, and holds on to him long enough to slow him up and let Scavogel and his secondary come up and make the play on Richardson. Richardson has had a number of big gains here early this evening, and the running backs continue to pile up the yards. Two teams that really like to run. 1:07 to go, first half. Purple Riders, the home team, Martins Ferry on top, 19-7. Timeout on the field. Crusaders taking a timeout. Be 2nd down and 5 after the run by Richardson. Ball on the Purple Rider 13-yard line. Looks like the skies have cleared up, and hopefully we won't have any more rain. Gibson split left side, Polshaw right side. Marcino, the quarterback, quick pitch goes to Manilak. He's looking for the option pass into the corner of the end zone. He has a man. Touchdown, Crusaders. Halfback option pass. It works. A very, very productive timeout called by the Crusaders as they come up with a surprise touchdown pass on the halfback option play. Marcino, quick pitch to Manilak. He's going to look downfield and find Gibson in the corner of the end zone. Unloads. Defensive secondary came up to play the run. Gibson hauls it in, and it's a touchdown for the flanker. And it's 19-13 with a minute to go in the first half. Extra point. Up and good. Splits the uprights, does Kusikowski. And it's a 5-point ball game with a minute to go in the first half. 19-14 our score. The Purple Riders remain on top, but the Crusaders coming up with a surprise for the Purple Riders. Our scoreboard from Ferry Hardware reads Martins Ferry 19, Catholic Central 14. And is Martins Ferry on top, but just by 5 points, and that the 2 extra point conversions that Martins Ferry missed early in the ball game may come back to haunt them. Manilak with a halfback option pass to Mike Gibson pulls the Crusaders within 5 points. Great night for high school football. Rains have come and gone. And there they are, the new band uniforms for Steubenville Catholic Central, I was told all week long by Crusader supporters, mention the band uniforms because they are something to see. As a matter of fact, I was doing my laundry today at the laundromat, and I happened to run into a Crusader fan. The young lady told me that she knew what type of uniforms they were getting. She described them to a T, white tops with the blue and gold trim, and they look fantastic, and she was right. They look super. They'll be out here at halftime. Right now, back to football action. Chuck Bell with a kickoff return. Gets a block, cuts back inside. He's out over the 30-yard line, and he's taken down at the 34. Purple Riders will take over with 53 seconds to go in the first half. She was right. Fantastic uniforms. 19-14 our score. Bill Phillips along with Liz Habib, WTOV's high school football game of the week. I formation of the backfield. Split left and right. Lucas back to pass, hands off. Little delay to Stewart. He's bottled up by the Crusaders. Coming up quickly, Dave Stanwyck getting a piece of Stewart. Little delay. Stanwyck comes in and beats his man. Gets to Stewart, comes up with a tackle. Eight seconds to go in the first half, and it looks like the Purple Riders will be happy to let this one run down. And at the half, our score will be the Purple Riders of Martins Ferry 19. The visitors, Steubenville Catholic Central, the Crusaders 14. A 5-point ball game at the half. We're going to take a timeout, and then we'll be back with our halftime activities.
Game of the week. Yes, I'm here with the Catholic Central cheerleaders. Girls, are you having a good game? Yeah! Well, I'll tell you what, before we get back into this game, they're going to sing Bill Phillips' favorite song in one of our promos. Some of these girls were featured in our Sports Friday promo. Take it away. Go! They're tongue-tied. They're cheerleaders. High school football is your game. Sports Friday is our name. TV is the place to be. For all the sports you need to see. Check us out and you'll agree. We're the best in Love Valley. What is Sports Friday? Thank you, girls. The Catholic Central cheerleaders now for second half action. Back to Bill Phillips in the booth.
Oh, that was great. Little Sports Friday action. And remember, every week on Friday, you can see our Sports Friday coverage. We have all the highlights, as we had in our little song down there, of all the highlights you need to see. John Ziegler and myself roaming around the valley along with the rest of our sports staff, bringing you the best coverage humanly possible. Right now, our score at halftime, as we're just about a minute away from second half action, it is the Purple Riders 19 and the visitors, Catholic Central Crusaders, 14. How's everybody doing tonight? I was up here at halftime dancing away, having a great time. The two bands from Catholic Central and from Martins Ferry doing an outstanding job, and it was fantastic. And I still got some happy feet, so it's a good time. Liz Habib, I don't know, we got to get her to work. She's got to go and visit some more people right now, but we're just about ready for second half action. Our cameraman, Tim McCoy, about to be run over as they come up behind him. It's a stampede of Purple Riders, and the Crusaders of Catholic Central getting ready in the far end zone. Purple Riders ready for second half action. The Purple Riders on top right now by 5 points. Two key plays in the game thus far. Missed extra points by the Purple Riders. They could come back to haunt them. Let's recap the scoring for you. First quarter action. Capping off a 67-yard drive was Chuck Bell for the Purple Riders. He went in from about a yard out. The extra point was good, and it was 7-0 Martins Ferry. Later in the first quarter, Anthony Yawney, a 3-yard TD run, and it was tied at 7-7. Kuzikowski with the extra point. Later in the first quarter, Tyrone Stewart, who's had a big half, he went in for a touchdown, and it was 13-7. The extra point, no good. Remember those extra points. Second quarter action now. Josh Lucas, he bolted in from about 10-15 yards out. Halfback option play where he faked the option handoff and then took off for the corner. It was 19-7. The extra point, no good again. So Lucas, a touchdown run, put Martins Ferry up 19-7, but the extra point no good. And then late in the first quarter, after timeout with about a minute left to go in the half, Fred Manilak, the halfback for the Crusaders, a halfback option pass to Mike Gibson in the corner of the end zone, and it works. 19-14, the extra point good. That's where we stand. 19-14, a 5-point lead for Martins Ferry. A couple of key plays, the extra points. Ferry Hardware scoreboard. Martins Ferry on top, 19-14. As we get ready for third quarter action, our score 19-14, and it will be Martins Ferry kicking to the Crusaders. Kicking chores handled by Martins Ferry's Brian Peterson, big tight end, senior 230-pounder. Defense and offensive two-way player, plays nose tackle, defensively tight end. He had a big catch early in the first quarter, helping set up a touchdown. And he will do the kicking. Straight on kicker here at Martins Ferry. The Purple Riders dropping back deep. Ken Richardson and Fred Manilak at the 10-yard line for the Crusaders. And we are on the way in the second half. A squib kick bouncing down to the 35-yard line, taken by an up back, out across the 40-yard line, and finally taken down at the 42-yard line. Mario Morris on the return, number 42 for the Crusaders. Both teams come in 2 wins and no losses on the 1991 season. Martins Ferry trying to bounce back from a 3-7 season, while the Crusaders trying to continue their tradition of excellence. They went 8-2 last year, and right now they're well on their way to another fine season. Gibson goes in motion, split backs in the backfield. Marcino handoff to Manilak, and he just keeps the leg drive going. We talked about Stewart of Martins Ferry early in the ball game, and Manilak shows you that he has strong legs as well. Inside handoff, straight up, bottled up, but Manilak keeps his legs moving, dragging tacklers down the field. And he would pick up a nice gain on the play, pickup of about 3 or 4 yards. We'll call it second down and a long 6. Slot formation right side, I formation in the backfield. Marcino, your quarterback. Manilak, your tailback. Richardson, the up back, and he gets the handoff, and he's across the midfield stripe, and he is close to another first down for the Crusaders. Richardson has run very well, and the offensive lines for both teams continue to do the job. Richardson running over the right side. Masculino, you can see why. Bob Masculino, number 52, right guard with a big hole, along with Dave Stanwyck, the right tackle. They open up a big hole. Center Brian Krager also getting a nice block on the play as Richardson picks up the first down. 1st and 10 from the Martins Ferry 47-yard line. Handoff to Richardson again. He gets across the 45. Pickup of about 3.5 on the play. Richardson, a good inside runner, and once he gets into the open field, has some good speed. A little reverse pivot handoff to Richardson. Coming around on the trap. Stanwyck. Richardson with a nice gain. 2nd down and 7. Ball on the Martins Ferry 44. 10 minutes to go, third quarter. Split backs in the backfield. Slot formation left side. Gibson is your slot man. Polshaw, the wide out. Handoff to Manilak. Bounces off a tackler and down across the 35-yard line. And the Crusaders putting together a nice opening drive here in the second half. Solid fundamental football being played by both teams tonight. Right now, the Crusaders offensive line blowing big holes in the Martins Ferry defense. Manilak, little fake to Richardson, handoff. Marcino to Manilak, nice running inside, cuts back. Handoff again to Manilak, the tailback, bounces off a tackler, gets a block upfield. He's in over the 20, 15. We've got a flag on the play, and it will be called back. The flag will go against the Crusaders. Looked like Mike Kuhn may have been holding on the play. He was out in front, and he was flagged for holding, so a nice run is called back. So Martins Ferry dodges a bullet there. They are helped by the penalty, a holding penalty against the Crusaders. That will push them back. Head coach Greg Bain trying to get his troops going on the far side. First-year coach at Catholic Central, Greg Bain, former player, assistant coach. Talked to him, very intense coach, very aggressive coach. And last week, if you saw our highlights of the Steubenville Central game, when the players make a big play, he is as excited as anybody, running down the sideline, hugging everybody he can find. And he told me on the phone this week that the kids get him pumped up. He loves coaching football, and when someone makes a good play and things are working well, very, very excited. Dave Bruni on the other side, a very excitable coach as well. Fake the handoff to Manilak, pitch to Richardson. He's going to pick up about 3 yards on the play. Nice spinning run inside the 25-yard line. Right on the 25-yard line is where they'll spot it. Richardson running hard here in the opening moments of the second half. Marcino with a nice pitch to get it out there. Coming across, Roby, along with Chuck Bell, coming up from his linebacker position to make the tackle. Handoff inside. Big chunk of yards. Anthony Yanni in the ball game, giving a rest to Manilak. Manilak coming back in the ball game. Yanni doing his job very well, picking up a first down for the Crusaders. Checking in, Manilak coming back into the ball game, also checking into the game. Joe Polshaw, he has the play for the Crusaders. I formation in the backfield. Gibson split left side, Polshaw right side. Marcino handoff inside to Richardson, another big hole, and he is down inside the 15-yard line, down to the 12, and I can't emphasize enough how well the offensive line of the Crusaders is blocking right now. Sweeney, Gaultier, Krager, Mascalino, and Dave Stanwyck really opening the holes, and then Richardson and Manilak running very, very hard. Martins Ferry being blown off the ball here in the third quarter. Split backs in the backfield. Option play left side. Marcino holds on to the ball, and he is taken down by a host of Purple Riders at the 10-yard line. Pickup of about 3 on the play. It'll bring up a third down situation for the Crusaders. Third and short, third and about a yard at the 10-yard line. Crusaders opening the second half with a very nice offensive drive. Okay, you're the defensive end. You're going to get optioned right here. Marcino coming down the line. Option, have to make the quarterback make an option. He tucks it inside. Looks like he may have had a little bit of a face mask, but Purple Riders get away with one. Handoff to Yanni. He will be close to a first down, probably close enough for a measurement. And from this angle, I am a long way away from where the ball is, down on the 10-yard line, just inside the 10-yard line. They won't even measure, not close enough. Fourth down, and still we'll call it a yard for a first down. Yanni checks out of the ball game. Fred Manilak, the tailback, checking back in. Marcino, the quarterback. Double tight end formation, full wishbone backfield. Marcino under center. Handoff to Richardson. He powers inside for a first down. Looks like he has it. It'll be first and goal to go for the Crusaders. With 6:30 to go, a time-consuming drive as the Crusaders start the second half. Reverse pivot, handoff to Richardson. He goes over Masculino. 5'11", 250-pound right guard. Ryan Krager, the center, 210. Some good size on the offensive line. 265, 200, 210, 250, 225. That's a good size offensive line for a high school football team. And the ball is loose. We have a fumble, and it looks like the Crusaders have recovered. Richardson jumping on the ball alertly. Marcino went down the line. Ball popped loose. Crusaders come up with their own fumble recovery. A little bit of a mix-up between tailback and quarterback for the Crusaders. Ball loose on the ground, and diving in there, Richardson, the fullback. Option play, left side as we're back to the action. Manilak with a nice catch, one-handed grab, gets down to the 5. Marcino with a tough pitch. He almost threw it away, but Manilak showing you some outstanding athletic ability as he comes up, and it looks like he may be shaken up on the play. It's going to head off to the sideline, and Anthony Yanni will come back into the ball game. Yanni has done an outstanding job. Manilak going off to the far side. He'll be attended to by the Crusader trainer. Ball spotted, 3rd and goal on the 5. Wishbone formation in the backfield. Fake the handoff, looking corner of the end zone, just incomplete. Marcino going to the corner of the end zone, and he comes up just a little bit too long, and it falls incomplete. Intended receiver Scott Bloomer. Nice play action pass, hid the ball very nicely, looks to the corner. The touch pass is there just a little bit too long. Bloomer lays out for it, just a foot short of coming up with a touchdown catch. That'll bring up 4th and goal from the 5-yard line. And the Crusaders will go for it. 4:52 to go in the 3rd quarter. 19-14, Crusaders with the ball. Reverse on the option. Gibson, he's bottled up. He's going to try to get to the outside. Does, gets around the corner. Touchdown, Crusaders. Mike Gibson, the flanker on the reverse option. He just flat out beat the Purple Rider defenders to the corner and got in from 5 yards out. A gutsy call by Greg Bain and his coaching staff on 4th and goal from the 5, down 5 points. Just over midway in the 3rd quarter. And Mike Gibson gets in the end zone, just flat out foot speed, beat everybody to the corner of the end zone. A fantastic run. Looked like he was bottled up by a number of Purple Riders, but just shifted into an extra gear that he has and gets into the corner of the end zone. The Crusaders find themselves on top by a point, 20-19. An outstanding ball game here at Martins Ferry Stadium. 2 unbeaten teams, showing you why they are 2 of the best in the Ohio Valley. Timeout on the field. Mike Kuzikowski, responsible for the kicking duties for the Crusaders. The decision right now, I would imagine, with 4:44 to go in the 3rd quarter, you're up a point. The extra point puts you up 2. A field goal beats you. So the discussion on the Crusader sideline must be whether or not to go for the 2-point conversion to go up 3, or to go for the conventional extra point kick and go up 2. And it looks like they will go for the 2-point conversion, trying to go up by 3 on the Purple Riders. Marcino back to pass, looking for a receiver, has a man open. Great one-handed catch by Fred Manilak. Unbelievable. Reached up with the right hand and pulled it in. A 2-point conversion for the Crusaders. A beautiful touch pass by Marcino. It's a 2-point conversion for the Crusaders. A fantastic grab by Manilak on the 2-point conversion. Watch it coming down. A beautiful pass, and he just reaches up, double coverage. A fantastic catch, great concentration, and it's the Crusaders up by 3, 22-19. We're going to take a timeout. Our Ferry Hardware scoreboard reads Martins Ferry 19, Catholic Central 22. Martins Ferry, Bill Phillips along with Liz Habib for our Friday night football game of the week. And right now it's the Crusaders of Catholic Central on top of Martins Ferry, 22-19. Fred Manilak put him up with a 2-point conversion, a fantastic one-handed grab, as the Crusaders come out after halftime and march it down the field, opening drive, and stick it in for a touchdown. Mike Gibson with a reverse on an option play on a 4th and 5 inside the 10-yard line, 4th and goal from the 5, and the Crusaders find themselves on top. First lead of the game for Catholic Central. Kickoff goes to Martins Ferry, and they will fall on the ball. Spielvogel falling on the ball at the 22-yard line, and that's where Martins Ferry will take over their first possession of the second half, as they trail it right now 22-19. Past 2 seasons, these 2 teams have gotten together. The Crusaders have come up with wins. Martins Ferry has had a tough time with the Crusaders over the past few years. Crusaders, a solid football team. So are the Purple Riders. Great game so far here on our Friday night. Bill Phillips and Liz Habib, and WTOV proud to bring it to you right here on TV9. Inside handoff goes to Del Guzzo, almost loses the handle as he powers ahead for about 3 yards. Want to remind everybody at the end of the game, we will be selecting our WTOV players of the game. Our sponsors in WTOV will award a $200 scholarship to both schools. And the name of the player of the game. Right now, there are a bunch of players of the game. The offensive lines for both teams doing fantastic jobs. All of the running backs and quarterbacks just as good. It's going to be a tough one to pick. Stewart, Tyrone, spinning down to the 30-yard line. Pickup of 3 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 3 for the Purple Riders with 3:40 to go in the 3rd quarter. Handoff, straight dive for Tyrone Stewart. Bounces off a tackler. Spins down to the 30-yard line. Third and 3. Right now, the momentum with the Crusaders of Catholic Central. Split left side. Tyrone Stewart pitch in the backfield, and the Crusaders bottle him up. He will not get the first down. Some great extra effort. Looked like they had him bottled up at the 30-yard line. Stewart keeps the legs pumping. He gets down to the 31-yard line, a little bit closer to the 32. He'll be about a yard short for the first down, and the Purple Riders will have to send on the kicking team. Here comes Stewart around left end. 1, 2, 3 tacklers miss. And then finally, 2 tacklers from Crusaders come up and make the play. Gaultier coming up from his inside linebacker position, getting a piece of the action. Stewart stops short. Roby in to do the punting for the Purple Riders. Dropping back deep is Mike Gibson. He stands at his own 37-yard line. Roby with a good kick. And Gibson misses it. Don't know if he touched the ball. Picks it up off of a hop. Downs it. And we've got a flag. And that is a tough, tough call. I don't agree with the official on that one. He did not call for a fair catch. The ball bounced up. He grabbed it. And he knelt down. But the player from the Purple Riders was already on his way to make a tackle. That is a tough call. Always want to look out for player safety. But that is a tough call right there. That's going to be a big 15-yard penalty coming down. And you be the judge on that one. That's a hard one to call. The referee's trying to sort it out, and he's not sure. Personal foul will be called against the Purple Riders. Coming in and making the late hit, Jeff Green. Green, a sophomore, 180-pounder, came down, and that is a very tough call, a very costly call for the Purple Riders. The ball would have been spotted back at the 25-yard line of the Crusaders, and instead it is marched up to the 40-yard line, giving the Crusaders fine field position as they take over with 2:14 to go in the 3rd quarter. 19 for the Purple Riders, 22 for the Crusaders, as both teams try to remain unbeaten. Crusaders, last time they had the ball offensively, marched it down the field. First possession of the second half. Gibson going in from 5 yards out in a 4th and goal situation. Extra point, 2-point conversion was good. Handoff, Manilak on first down. Bounces out over the 45-yard line. Down at about the 47. Pickup of about 7 on the play. Fine run. Coming up, a little bit of a limp on the play for the Purple Riders. Chuck Eddy. Manilak bounces to the outside. Great vision on the tailback. Picks and chooses his spots very well. Gibson split left side. Handoff inside to Richardson. Powers ahead for the first down, and it's just good inside running right now for the Crusaders. Offensive line punishing the Purple Riders at this point in the 3rd quarter. 1:22 to go in the 3rd quarter. Handoff to Richardson. He's run very well inside. Driving ahead. First and 10 from the Purple Rider 47-yard line. Crusaders will split back to the backfield. Gibson split left side. Yawning split right side. Richardson bouncing outside. He's taken down in the backfield. Pickup of maybe a yard. Maybe a length of a football. Not much. Pitch goes to Richardson. He tries to bounce around the outside. Good open field tackle. Martins Ferry's Chuck Bell coming up very quickly and making a fine open field tackle. Stop for no gain, according to the official. 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. Inside handoff to Richardson, bottled up once again by the Purple Riders, coming in quickly from his nose tackle position, Brian Peterson. John Caprita coming in as well. Defensive end, John Caprita, the junior 190-pounder, and Brian Peterson, 230-pound senior, coming in from his middle guard position on the defensive line. And that will do it for the third quarter. It was a third quarter that was dominated by the Crusaders of Catholic Central. Our score after 3 quarters of play, the Crusaders on top, 22-19. Proud to present our third high school football game of the week. Each and every Friday, we will have a game of the week, and then on the last Saturday of the regular season, we'll have Wheeling Central and Lindsley, a special extra game, number 11 on a Saturday. But right now, the game of the week has turned out to be probably the best game in the Valley, at least from my standpoint. Right now, 22-19 as we just are ready to start the fourth quarter. The Crusaders of Catholic Central on top. 2-point conversion, the difference in this one puts them up 3 points. Marcino, the quarterback for the Crusaders, rolls to his right and he throws incomplete out of bounds. And Tim McCoy, one of our cameramen this weekend, takes one in the hip for the team. Camera, don't worry about the football. 4th and 10, and the Crusaders will kick it away, and a fine kick by Polshaw, driving Spielvogel back to the 5-yard line. He's going to return it, has a little bit of a gap, and out to just inside the 20-yard line. They'll probably spot it at the 19. That's where the Purple Riders will take over 1st and 10, and they have their hands full right now. Down in the fourth quarter. Bill Phillips along with Liz B bringing you high school football on this Friday night on WTOV 9. Chuck Bell wide open, and Lucas finds him open for the first down. He's out over the 35-yard line, taken down at the 38. Nice play, well conceived. Lucas rolling to his great football game. Slot formation left side. Stewart, your eye back. Option, Stewart gets to the outside. He is taken down. Open field tackle made by Mike Gibson. Coming in also to get on a little bit of that tackle, Anthony Yawney, coming up quickly from his cornerback position. High school football on WTOV. I formation. Joseph split right side. Lucas back to pass, has a man open in the flat, wide open, and across midfield, down to the 45-yard line before he's forced out of bounds by Yawney. Coming up with the reception, Rob Sheely, high back. Lucas back in the air again. A little bit too high for Joseph, went up. Split left and right. Handoff, Stewart, straight up the middle. Slams ahead for 4 yards on the play. We'll call it 3rd and 6. With 8:47 to go in the quarter. Lucas back to pass, looking across the middle, and Spielvogel drops the ball. Drops the ball at the 35-yard line. Looked like he had room to run and pick up the first down. That'll bring up a 4th and 7. Interesting call right now for Dave Bruni, the head coach of the Purple Riders. Do you kick it away? A fake punt? With a nice spiraling kick, a tail dragger. Yawney calls for the fair catch at the 9-yard line. And that's where the Crusaders will take over. So the Purple Riders punter does his job. Perry Stadium, our score, the Crusaders 22-19 over the Purple Riders. Crusader football on their 10-yard line. Manilak with a nice hole right up the middle, vaulting himself through the offensive line down to the 19-yard line. And while we were away, I looked down on the Purple Rider sideline, and limping was Tyrone Stewart. Another tailback, the other featured tailback in this game, the Crusaders, Fred Manilak, with a fine run, piling up the yards. That big offensive line doing the job for the Crusaders. Basic straight-ahead football. Handoff, Richardson, big hole, bounces to the outside, coming up with a big play. John Caprita got a hand on Richardson and pulled him down from behind. If he doesn't get the hand up there and pull him down, looks like Richardson might be able to go. Spot formation. Wide is Polshaw, slot man is Gibson. Handoff goes straight up the middle and is stopped for little gain by the Purple Rider defensive line. Eric Delguzzo also in an inside linebacker, getting a piece of the play. Quick pitch to Richardson, left side, bounces to the outside. Nice open field tackle. Coming up quickly, Rob Sheely. Also getting a piece quickly. Richardson bounces to the outside, gets a block. Is forced to run left laterally. And Sheely coming up with a diving tackle, grabbing him around the ankles and hauling him down. Gibson split right side for the Crusaders. And it's a pass going to Gibson, open at the 37-yard line. He has a first down. He's out across the 45. A big gain for the Crusaders. And on the near sideline, going down and holding his knee is Gibson. Referees calling for the Crusader trainers to come over. Gibson down immediately, and it looks like they're administering to his left leg. It looks like the Purple Rider trainers working on what would be a cramp more than anything else. Out of bound, the Crusaders a first down. Manilak across the midfield stripe before he is bottled up. And the Purple Riders reaching in, trying to tackle the football as much as they are Manilak. Our score with 6:05 to go in the ball game. The Crusaders 22, the Purple Riders 19. I'm Bill Phillips along with Liz B for WTOV 9, bringing you our Friday night high school game of the week. And this one has turned into a dandy. Our first game of the week won by the Red Knights of Toronto. Second game of the week, the Brook Bruins went to Wintersville and came up a winner. This one still up in the air. 3-point game with 5:40 to go. Two teams that are unbeaten, trying to remain that way. Right now, the Crusaders getting the best of it. Slot formation right side. I formation in the backfield. Manilak bounces to the outside. He's got a little corner to turn, and he's out for the first down before he's taken down. And the Crusader fans roaring approval as Manilak gets outside. And I'll tell you what, player of the game will be very tough to choose on both sides. Manilak having a great game. Nice move to get outside. Keith Walker coming up quickly. Took the inside angle, and Manilak able to bounce outside and get around the corner and pick up the first down. Purple Riders on the Ohio Valley. Bill Phillips and Liz Abib, WTOV 9's high school game of the week. A great one, week number 3. Martins Ferry and the Purple Riders taking on the Crusaders of Catholic Central out of Steubenville. And right now it's the Crusaders on top, 22-19, a 3-point lead. They are marching the ball down the field. It has been all Crusaders in the second half. The first half early, it belonged to Martins Ferry. 5:25 to go in the game. Inside handoff goes to Richardson. He bangs inside the 35-yard line. He'll be spotted at the 33. Basic dive play, and you can't talk enough about the offensive line of Catholic Central. Up front, some big people. Brian Krager, the center, anchoring the line at 210. Bob Mascalino, 250. Dave Stanwyck, 225. Galtree, 200 pounds. Dan Sweeney, he's a big one as well, and they just continue to pound it inside. Big yards as Richardson, the fullback, right up the middle for another first down. Offensive line really getting off the ball well. They have worn down the Purple Riders, and Richardson, a tough inside runner, coming up, get a piece of the tackle. Roby from his strong safety position. 1st and 10 from the Purple Rider 25-yard line. The Crusaders trying to punch another one in. We have hankies everywhere. Everybody's gone. Whole right side goes. Left side goes. Purple Riders go. The ball's not snapped. Trips right. Man open across the middle for the Crusaders, down inside the 15. 10-yard line, up before he's upended. Quick little slant by Steve Marshall. Crusaders came out in the formation. They had 3 receivers to the right side, and then Marcino looks back and dumps the ball across the middle to Marshall, and he's down inside the 15-yard line. Roby and Joseph coming up with the tackles for Martins Ferry. And with 3:56 to go in the ball game, a touchdown here by the Crusaders might lock this one up. Polshaw split left side. Slot man is Gibson on the left side. Inside handoff, Richardson down to the 5-yard line before he's tackled by a host of Purple Riders, and the Crusaders sidelines. Excited as is their crowd, and right now a very, very different story on the Purple Rider sideline. More offensive line domination by the Crusaders. And Richardson with great running inside, coming up and making the tackle for Purple Riders. Chuck Bell coming backfield. 2nd down and 3, ball on the 4-yard line. Handoff goes to Richardson, gets maybe a yard on the play. And the clock continues to roll. Precious seconds rolling away from the Purple Riders. The Crusaders wishing that the clock would go even faster. Reverse pivot, inside handoff. Richardson over the big right side of the offensive line. Mascolino leading the way along with Stanwyck. Purple Riders need a stop desperately. They cannot afford to give up a touchdown. Down 22-19, 2:45 to go in the 4th quarter. Handoff, Manilak stopped, bottled up. Ryan Peterson, the 230-pounder, the nose tackle coming in quickly and putting the stop on Manilak. 4th down. Interesting call here for Greg Bain and his coaching staff. 4th down, ball spotted on the 4-yard line. We have a timeout called by the Purple Riders. 22 to first downs, get the crowd back into the game on the Purple Riders side, and they might be able to get something going. Dave Bruni playing the little chess match with head coach Greg Bain of the Crusaders. 2:28 to go. Bill Phillips and Liz Abebe, WTOV 9's high school football game of the week. I formation, slot, left side. Gibson comes in motion. Crusaders going for it on 4th down. Bootleg. Marcino, he has a man, touchdown, but we have a flag on the play. Richardson with a touchdown catch. We have a flag on the play. If it's against the Purple Riders, it'll be declined, and indeed it is. The indication is that it is against the Purple Riders, a defensive hold, and it looks like it is locked up. The Crusaders with a big touchdown inside of 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Marcino rolls to his left, looks downfield, just a little flip pass, and his fullback, Ken Richardson, goes in for the touchdown. So Kuzakowski's extra point attempt is no good. Wide to the right side. So our score with 2:18 to go in the ball game. Catholic Central 28, Martins Ferry 19. Kuzakowski has the ball teed up at the 40-yard line, back deep. Stewart. 28-19 our score. The Crusaders on top with 2:18 to go in the ball game. Short kick taken by Spivogel. Still on his feet and down at the 36-yard line. Purple Riders have quite a bit of work to do in the next 2:14. Purple Riders of Martins Ferry would drop to 2-1. Lucas back to pass, getting some pressure, steps up in the pocket, moves to his left, looking downfield, getting some pressure, tries to get outside, flips it downfield to Joseph, and he makes the catch, but he's inbounds. The signal is incomplete. Head coach Dave Bruni talking with the official, trying to get him to change his mind, but it goes incomplete. Joseph had the ball pop up in the air. Lucas doing a great job, buying some extra time, feels the pressure from the backside, continues to roll to the sideline, flips it forward, and Joseph has it go off his hands. He makes the catch, but he is out of bounds when he hauls it in. Clock stops with 1:46 to go. Lucas back to pass, looking downfield, getting some pressure from Scott Bloomer, and making the tackle. Scott Bloomer, a huge sack for the defensive end. Fought off the blocker, and he got in on Lucas, and he put him away, and the clock continues to roll. Lucas back to pass. Offensive line doing a good job. Delguzzo working on Bloomer. A little bit of a hold, and he is blocked right into Lucas. And Bloomer making a great play defensively for the Crusaders. Lucas back to pass again, and he's going to be taken down for a loss. And the Crusaders have everything going their way. John Winch coming up with a defensive stop for the Crusaders, and that'll bring up 4th down. And bye-bye. And Stewart looking to pass, going long, and it will fall incomplete. And that is all she wrote in this one. The clock stops with 25 seconds. The Purple Riders are going to come up short in their comeback bid. The Crusaders coming up big defensively and offensively here in the second half. Games to each school from WTOV and its sponsors. A great play-action fake by Marcino. He just kind of lulled everyone to sleep, and he gets down inside the 15-yard line. The clock continues to tick, 15 seconds. They don't have to call another play, and the Crusaders of Catholic Central will come up with a big win tonight in Martins Ferry. Our final score, 28-19, Catholic Central, a big winner behind their offensive line. Their entire offensive line is the Catholic Central players of the game. And Chuck Bell of Martins Ferry had a touchdown run, and he played a solid defensive game all night for the Martins Ferry Purple Riders. And he is awarded the player of the game for the Martins Ferry Purple Riders. Those are your players of the game. Our final score, 28-19. Catholic Central improves to 3-0. Martins Ferry falls to 2-1. 28-19, our final score. Break. We'll be back after this. Central improves to 3-0. They win it 28-19. Martins Ferry, they fall to 2-1. Two solid football teams, and teams that I'm sure at the end of the season will be fighting tooth and nail for state playoff positions. And hopefully the season will continue positively for both teams as they play a great ball game here at Martins Ferry Stadium. The players of the game, the offensive line for Catholic Central. They opened huge holes for Manilac. They gave Marcino great protection, and they just did everything they could. And in the second half, they took the game over and wore down the Purple Riders of Martins Ferry, so we award them our players of the game for Catholic Central. For Martins Ferry, Chuck Bell. He had a touchdown tonight, had some great inside runs, and he played a solid defensive game, coming up and making key tackles all night long. Martins Ferry's player of the game, Chuck Bell. Both of these players of the game selections will get a $200 scholarship awarded in their names to their schools. We're going to wrap it up for our third week of high school football here on WTOV 9. Our final score, once again, 28-19. For Liz Habib, I'm Bill Phillips. Thanks for joining us, everybody.